Here we go. Well, hello, Paradigm Shifters. And welcome to Transformation Tuesday. It's Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. Let's take a deep breath in and bring ourselves into the right here, right now. As one of my mentors says, the red dot moment, which is the only time that we have. So, who are Paradigm Shifters? We are a growing global community dedicated to shift and uplift the planet. How's that, Gina?
Love it. I'm here for it.
Are you here? Are you down?
Yes.
We've been coming in every Tuesday since March of 2020 with different topics that are shifting, shift, uplift, taking the temperature out there. And I'm like, okay, who do I know? Well, first of all, we're about 1,600 plus strong. And so from all over the world, we're global. And every month we have a different topic. And so as I was downloading, downloading from the infinite, the topic for November, and it came harvesting the good. So much right here, right now. And I have a little story to tell about that right now. I went camping last Friday, and I must say I learned a lot around the campfire about food. And I'm a foodie. And all these guys that were talking, they had the campfire, they had the grill down, they had a lot of meat on there and everything. And they started to talk about this bread that they buy. And this is not an advertisement, but it kind of is, called Dave's Killer Bread. Have you heard about that? Yes.
Yeah.
I did not. I wanted to read this about, I'm going to read from the package. 15 years in prison. That's a tough way to find yourself. Dave Dahl realized he was in the wrong game and knew he had more to offer. His brother Glenn saw a change in him and gave Dave a second chance by welcoming him back to the family bakery. Yeah. Dave set out to make a loaf like no other, the most nutritious organic whole grain bread, and the result is what he called Killer Dave's bread. Okay? It's built on the belief that everyone is capable of greatness. Everyone is capable of greatness. What began as one man's journey has turned into so much more. Today, 1/3 of the employees at our Oregon bakery have a criminal background, and we have witnessed firsthand how stable employment sparks personal transformation. This was my gold nugget this weekend. Plus, it's good bread.
Love that.
Yeah. So, our guest speaker for today is Gina Brollier. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I know. I'm just like, okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about Gina. And Gina is coming to us from Cody, Wyoming. Gina has a lifelong passion, for metaphysics and personal development, and holds a BA in philosophy. Now, as a spiritual teacher and speaker, she has individually mentored over 300 clients and helped thousands more as a featured guest on global telesummits and podcasts such as The Transformation Show and From Heartache to Joy. Wow. So Gina is committed to helping people grow their self-awareness and deepen their understanding of spiritual principles for greater results, fulfillment, and full spectrum life success. So Gina, I'm going to turn this over to you and tell us a little bit about yourself and perhaps what you might know about harvesting the good.
Okay. Well, me myself, I have like like you shared, a background in spirituality and personal development and all these kind of things. And most recently, I found myself in my sister's company, Soul Savvy, supporting her. And I know that you and Lauren, my sister, are very good friends, and that's how we met and everything. So that was wonderful. And I think what's just coming to mind right now is what really changed my life was the marriage of all the spiritual seeking I had kind of done on my own, and then coming across the type of mindset and vision work that you and Lauren do, and bringing those two pieces together just really changed everything for me and really taught me how to harvest the good. Because, I think we all have a connection to the infinite, to the divine, to, the infinite intelligence that's out there. And I think when we trust that and we go with that, and we can always find the good. Like Napoleon Hill said, every adversity, every hardship, every failure has the, equal, or yeah, I'm paraphrasing now, has, an equal or greater benefit in it. And so I think there's always, always, always an opportunity to harvest the good. I think where it can be challenging sometimes is, sometimes I think, especially when we're on a personal development path or something like that, we feel like, oh, if we're not feeling good all the time, we're getting it wrong. And that, I think that's actually my global message today is, no, you're a human being. You were put in this body. You were given emotions. You're given a human nervous system. You're right to feel how you feel in every given moment, also knowing that there is a higher good emerging for you. And so you can love yourself through that. You can honor yourself through your feelings. You can give yourself the grace that it's okay to have that, nothing's wrong here. And that there's a higher grace at work that maybe you can't see yet. And so I think that is the way I look at harvesting the good.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I love working on your event. And before it started, you said, well, we make mistakes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is there a particular time in your life that you'd like to share where perhaps it wasn't going so good when you thought it should, and in a tool or something that you're using?
Yes. I went through pretty heavy times for quite a while in my life where I had anxiety and depression and things that were untreated. And those really went untreated until I was in my late 30s. And so I felt like I was struggling just to get above water a lot of the time. And so on paper and on the outside, I seemed fine, but on the inside, I was having a lot of struggle. That's when I came across, like I was telling you, the mindset and the vision work. Lauren brought me to Mary's event, Dream Builder Live, for the first time, and started teaching me some of these mindset principles of transcendentalism and things that I hadn't been aware of. And being in a place where I feel like I had done a lot of personal development, I had a lot of tools, I had a lot of connection to, the universe and whatnot, but there was still that part of me that just didn't feel okay, just in general. And the first tool that helped me, and for anybody who is on here today that maybe feels like they're struggling, or they've been in a loop, or they've been in a pattern that they just can't seem to crack, I would say start with one thing that you can manage. Because for me, thinking about all these tools and mindsets and things was so overwhelming that I'm like, I just want to get through the day. Like that's basically what I'm capable of at this point. And so I had one tool that I was like, I can do this. I can do this one thing. And that one tool was an affirmation, which is every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. And I just kept repeating that one thing because, as you know, Judy, with mindset, it's repetition. And that's the part that nobody wants to hear, but that's just the truth of it all. Is it took a lot for whatever patterns are in us to get in us, and we need to repattern those. And luckily, it is a lot easier to repattern, but you have to be consistent with it. And so I was like, I know I can do this one thing. And so I just kept repeating that to myself over and over. And I believe that's what gave me a breakthrough, because shortly after that, I was at the doctor's office for just a routine kind of thing. I think it was maybe even just like my annual gynecological exam or whatever. And I just kind of had the instinct to talk to the doctor about, I feel kind of low energy, and I kind of started sharing some things with her. And she was the first doctor in my life that started asking me some questions. Okay, how are you feeling? How is this? How is that? And she was like, we're going to run all of the physical tests on you, but I'm also going to refer you to a therapist because I feel like there may be something emotional going on. Now, reverse 20 years before that, when I was 17 years old, I had severe anxiety to the point where it's manifesting as like severe abdominal pain. And a doctor at that time, basically, they ran all the tests on me and he said, I think you're just holding stress. And he gave me some like Prilosec or something and sent me on my way. So I'm thinking, if that doctor, when I was 17 years old, had just sent me to get help, that could have like changed my whole life. But of course, all of our challenges make us who we are. So I'm not regretful about that at all. But now I look at this doctor, now I'm 37 years old, and she's telling me, I'm going to send you to somebody. And that doctor, the therapist she sent me to, immediately gave me a medical intervention, all of these kind of things. She's like, you've been doing all of the work on yourself all of this time. Like, I normally wouldn't do this, but I think you need to be medicated. And I was on medication for 3 years and it changed my whole entire life. I feel like I had a reset and I finally wasn't feeling like something was constantly wrong with me. And so like, I'm getting emotional now because just that one doctor that did that one thing for me, like changed everything. And so when the reason I bring it back to this affirmation is that I decided something different for myself. I knew that I can start by changing my mindset because that's ultimately going to lead to something. And so I just want to say to anyone out there who's struggling, taking that one thing and installing that new belief for yourself. You may not know what it's going to trigger, but it's going to trigger something because you are going to be on a new frequency. You can't help it. Your subconscious mind takes that in and you get on a frequency with something different. And so I hope that inspires somebody out there.
Oh, look at you. I love it. You know what I love? I love your generation.
Mm.
And I love your generation because for me, when I hear stories like that, and it's it's like hope. Okay, there's hope. There are more than one way to change its mindsets.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, wow, wow. So, one of the things I was teaching last week is about this magnetic mindset. So our mindset's magnetic. So whatever we want to put out there, it magnetizes. And then, if we're really conscious about it, then all these opportunities come up. Opportunities that were there all the time, but we're more aware of that. Wow, wow, wow. So tell me, so there's all these awarenesses that have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And where are you now in your awareness work? And you've helped raise the awareness of the planet.
Mm.
How's that for you? A little anxiety there? No.
Yeah.
One of the things I heard a speaker say, and it was at a recovery conference, and he said, look around you, your addictions affected at least 10 people.
Mm.
And there was a dead silence
Mm-hmm.
for about a minute or two. And then he said, okay, your recovery and your mindset work also affects at least 10 times more people. So tell me where you are now. I mean, you've helped 300 plus and you're out there.
That makes me really happy because that's all I really care about in life is just being able to bring more light, to bring more, whatever you want to call it, hope, faith, awareness, joy, love. That means the world to me.
And the cool thing is, you're doing it from Cody, Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where your headquarters is now. But the cool thing with Zoom is we're global. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. I love that. This is so special because, like you said, you affect 10 people, you affect 10 times or whatever. I just think, love and kindness and light is just so powerful that it exponentially changes everything. And so you just have a few loving people in the world, and the impact of that, it's like you can't even quantify it. And so the fact that you're doing this globally with so many people, I just love it.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's kind of scary out there. I mean, not really. At first it was, and then you just kind of get used to it. Some people are going to like you, some aren't. And that was an awakening for me when I first started. It's like, oh, there's people that aren't going to like me. And my mentor said, yeah, get used to it.
Yeah. And, I always see it as, some people are really going to latch on and like be supportive and whatever. Other people are going to be triggered. Both are good because whatever they needed to hear from you, no matter what their reaction was, they got what they needed, I believe, in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, let's talk about that word trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah. And so, like, you've worked with many clients. What is like, uh, what are you finding is the number one trigger for people that triggers their growth?
That's really, really interesting. I mean, the first thing that pops into my head is relationships. I think we always grow through relationships. And, ultimately we all want to be in harmonious relationships and happy relationships and things. But like, when we're not ready for that, or when we have maybe some things we're working out within ourselves, like there can be very challenging relationships. I'm not speaking about abuse here. I'm just speaking about, butting heads and that type of thing, where, people trigger some things in you, they push some buttons that you may not like being pushed, but ultimately you grow because of that. And in my opinion, I can't speak for anybody else, but having gone through different relationships and seen myself, have my buttons push and see what comes out of that. Like, I think it was Wayne Dyer who said, I can't remember, you might know this, Judy, but when you squeeze an orange, what comes out? Orange juice. So when somebody pushes your buttons, what comes out? Whatever was within you that was ready to arise and move out. And so I think, those challenging relationships can help us grow. But at some point, I think, again, talking about frequency, when we're in a mindset and when we're in a feeling tone of having something more simpatico, more harmonious, then we don't need necessarily those challenging relationships so much anymore, because that doesn't need to grow within us at that point. We've kind of moved past that. So.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, I picked up some orange juice when I picked up my Dave's bread this morning. um, it's interesting too, about this growth thing, and I wanted to bring this up this week. It is the week before Thanksgiving, and I'm hearing different things about fear about being around family. The relatives are getting together. This one said hurtful things last year and everything. And do you have any gold nuggets that you could pass on to anybody about like these gatherings and expectations with relationships, with family?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, I think, that can be a tricky one at times, because everybody has different dynamics and different situations within their family. Some you might classify as just mildly annoying or whatever. Some you might classify as like particularly emotionally abusive. So I don't think, you can put a generalization on the whole thing, but I think, you just have to ask the questions: what would I love, and who am I choosing to be? Because if it's a situation where it really does not feel okay for you to go into that situation, you don't have to do it. And so I just want to put that out there. But if it's one of those things where it's like, oh, like this person's kind of annoying and I have to deal with this, but I want to be this person who, is open and loving and kind. And I want to be a part of my family. Maybe not all the time, but, I still want to be part of that. I think you can just decide to be in your own energy. You don't have to make anybody else comfortable. You don't have to be doing all the things and trying to heal the situation or fix the family. You just show up as who you want to be, and you just be present. And if you're listening to somebody's long-winded story for one evening or whatever, that's fine. Be present, be who you want to be. And again, it's just about boundaries. Maybe I don't want to see these people all the time, but maybe, once a year is fine. Or maybe I love these people, so I'm going to support them, even though I don't love everybody that's there. And just finding the place for you where you are not being who you don't want to be, and you're not putting yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in, but also at the same time, you're not coming from a place of fear where it's as if like their personalities can do something to you. Just know that you're more than that. You're the divine, you're the light, you're who you want to be, and then just kind of navigate it from there. You can leave a place early if you need to. There's many different options. So I know I said a lot of things, but hopefully that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. There's harvesting the good right there. And sometimes showing up is the growth for you. Yeah. So that is so good. Well, so what are you cooking up for your life now that we can hold for you? What would you love? What, as a community, we love to, hold your vision for you to shift and uplift the planet. What would you love?
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. I have a lot of things in the works right now that nothing is really said and done, so I can't really speak of, but I think that's not even what I'm being called to speak of right now. My greatest vision that I've had for a very, very long time is I'm somebody who loves to travel. If I could have it my way, I'd live in many different countries, not just one, but and maybe I will someday. But my greatest vision is always I'm traveling the world with the love of my life. We're, uplifting the planet. Every project, everything we touch brings light to the world, and we're having so much fun and laughter doing it. So that's my greatest vision.
All right, so it is. Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
What we do is like we're getting the energy. We're like creating energy. Your job is to catch it and receive. Another spiritual law of receiving, okay? So here it comes. Yes, love of your life, traveling, spreading the light. Ready? All the way to Cody, Wyoming. There, receive. Yeah. Got it?
Yes, I'm so grateful for that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for being here and for being you. And so it is. And so we let it be. Thank you so much for being part of our Transformation Tuesday for November. And we totally see you as a light. And you're light of your generation. Yeah, and you've just lit up all the way up to my generation, which is, poof, poof, poof.
Oh,
which
thank
is a
you,
little
Judy.
bit further up. My youngest daughter is 39, so, and she has that passion like you, and the growth, and it just warms my heart. Yeah. So until dream big, dream bold, accomplish brilliantly. All right. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciated being here. This is awesome.
Amen.